right, Matt, well, here we are, opening night of the boys' high school season. We're out here in Grand Rapids. This is unbelievable. We got the brand new remodeled arena. And this your first time up here?
It is. How about you?
My first as well. There are some great vibes as we are in the lobby. I think it's going to be a great night. You got Hibbing Chisholm in town, a classic Iron Range matchup. I mean,
it doesn't get any better.
It really doesn't get any better than this.
So
let's do it. We got a bubble to record.
Let's do it, man. We welcome you to week 3 of Inside the Bubble as we come live to you from the newly named Yanmar Arena here in Grand Rapids. We're excited to be back for another episode of Inside the Bubble. As always, I'm Matt Harrington alongside Brandon Spratt. And Brandon, great to be here, the start of the boys hockey season. It's always extra special when we're up here in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, such a special hockey community. You can really feel the buzz as the JV game goes on behind us. We're in a beautiful, renovated facility. A lot of it stays the same, but a lot of changes too. How about this roof? I mean, some beautiful wood, new roof. You had that fresh wood smell when you walked in the building as well. Truly special to be here.
And Yanmar, of course, one of the local manufacturing machinery companies here in the Grand Rapids area, and obviously they've played a huge part in making this renovation possible.
Yep, newly named arena. Going to take a while for folks to get used to, but it's, by the sounds of it, a partnership that people are very excited about in the community.
We'll take a look at some of the boys and girls highlights now, starting with the girls on Tuesday night. We'll start it out with the Blake Bears and the Academy of Holy Angels Stars, the top-ranked Stars in girls Class A. We'll pick this one up here in the first period. Check out this move to the front and a beautiful finish. It's Bella Lemire with the even strength goal to put the Stars on top in this one, 1-0. So good. We'll show it to you in slow motion here as Lemire's going to cut to the front, and then the goaltender, Janie McGaw, is beaten on the backhand by Lemire. An excellent finish to put the Stars up in this one. And also in the first period, it's Bella Lemire once again with her second goal of the game. She's been off to a hot start this year for the Academy of Holy Angels. And again, you're going to see the heads-up awareness here to jump on that puck as it hopped off of Blake's stick. Lemire cuts to the front in a beautiful finish past the goaltender, Janie McGaw, as Holy Angels leads 2-0. Now into the second period, an opportunity for Blake. It bounces off. It was intended for Lemire and ended up being credited to Emily Anderson with the even strength goal. And you're going to see just an unfortunate bounce as it looked like went off first an initial Blake skate and then another one in the slot. Just a tough break there for the Bears as Holy Angels goes up 3-0 in this one. Another opportunity here in the third period. And check out this save from Janie McGaw. She was terrific in this game for the Blake Bears. A sequence here of really strong saves. And that would end up being the final score, though. The Academy of Holy Angels improves to 4-0 on the season as they shut out Blake 3-0.
We have a Section 6 AA battle coming up here. Wayzata visiting number 7, Vanilde St. Margaret's. We picked this up in the opening minute of the game as Bailey Gray walks in from the point. That one is in, and Gray is off to a great start this season in terms of goal scoring from the blue line. Puts her Red Knights up 1-0. We take it a little bit later into the first period as the Red Knights, they go on the wraparound, centered out front, and Kaylee Koopman buries that to make it 2-0 Red Knights, as they are off to a hot start in this one. Later in the first period, as the Trojans on the forecheck, they'll center this one to Nicole Britz working down the slot, and that is a great shot over the glove hand there of Ellie Hancock to make it 2-1 and cut into the Red Knight lead. Later in the first period, though, look at this snipe there from Tala Hansen. Not the last time we'd see her in this game. She puts BSM up 3-1. Into the second period now, it's Wayzata on the attack. They're on the power play, and they finish it off there on the wraparound. Nicole Britz with her second of the game cuts the deficit back to 1, and this time Wayzata would push on and get an equalizing goal. This time it's another Britz, Jenna Britz, who's going to get it as it rolls away, and Britz hammers one there from the dot that ends up in the net. Look at the bench, absolutely fired up to tie this game at 3. Later, it's even strength, and the ripper there from Davy Mokelke, the two-sport Trojan star, plays soccer as well. Mokelke gives the Wayzata Trojans a surprise 4-3 lead. However, BSM would come back. Lizzie Hamill, top goal scorer for the Red Knights, a year ago, ties this one up at 4 heading into the third period. A wild one at the rec center on Tuesday night. And now here we go. Freshman Tala Hansen. What a move and what a goal. Tala Hansen gives her Red Knights the lead. And that is a lead that they would hang on to 5-4 in a wild game at the rec center as BSM improves to 3-1.
We go now out to Braemar Arena in Edina as Holy Family and the Edina Hornets in a big one here in the top 5 of the Kare 11, top 11. Early in the first, this is a backhand shot and a goal for the Hornets. It's Kate McCoy who gets the scoring started for Edina later in the first period. Now just a few seconds remaining in the period. A turnaround shot that beats the goaltender, and Kate McCoy's got a double here in the first. It's 2-0 in favor of Edina. Turnover here. This is a great chance for the Hornets, and it's just put wide on the attempt there from Lorelai Nelson as the Hornets keep it at 2-0. And then check this out. It bounces in on the goal there from McCoy. It's a natural hat trick as Edina goes up 3-0. Late in the second period now, Holy Family trying to get on the board. And a great sequence of saves. How about the pad save there from Nora Hannon, who has been terrific in goal for Edina so far this year. 3-0 now in the third. The one-timer put home by Whitney Horton. Here's a who, and it's the Edina Hornets who get the 4-0 win in this Kare 11 top 11 battle as they take this one. A tough night on the power play for Holy Family, 0 for 5.
Little Black Friday hockey action from up in the Northland. It's Proctor Hermantown hosting the Orono Spartans. This is a 2-time running Class A semifinal rematch in the state tournament. Early power play goal here. Maddie Kimbrell cleans that one up to put the Spartans on the board about 3 minutes in. Then a breakaway opportunity. What a save made there by the freshman goaltender, Vivian Anderson, who was rock solid today. And this would send the game 1-0 into the second period. Now it is the Mirage on the power play, and senior Hannah Graves, the Bemidji State commit, levels this game at 1 on her first goal of the season. However, it was a short-lived tie as Orono gets to work on the forecheck. Check out Nickham in the slot here. Alexa Nickham rips that one past the glove of Neela McLeod to make it 2-1. Spartans, plenty of chances for the Mirage as this game went on to tie it. Here's a big one. Jane Ekstrom. Oh, she is stonewalled not once but twice by Vivian Anderson. They had a lot of other chances late down the stretch in this game too, but that would do it as the Spartans, despite being outshot 30-22, get the 2-1 win over Proctor Hermantown on Saturday.
Another game on Saturday. This time it is Minnetonka taking on Stillwater. Again, another top 11 battle in this one as the Skippers on the road. We'll pick this up in the second period as the Ponies here on the power play, and it's a beautiful finish from Josie Lang, who gets the Ponies the 1-0 lead with 12:03 to go in the period. And now we'll take it into the second as well. Minnetonka now trying to even this game. And the finish by Allison Ryan, who gets the goal for Minnetonka. An even strength tally for the Skippers. And you're going to see that this became a period for the Skippers to remember, as how about this finish in front? Lauren Goldsworthy gets a perfect pass from Lauren Mack behind the net. And the Skippers have their first lead of the game now at this point, 2-1. Also, another chance here on the power play for Minnetonka. A wraparound gets through. This time it's another Lauren Mack with the goal. And that one came in the dying seconds of the second period. 3-1 now. Stillwater in the third trying to get a response. And no surprise, it's Josie St. Martin with her first goal of the game, second point. And the Ponies make things interesting here at 3-2. But the Skippers are not going to go away yet in this one in terms of offense, as it's another backhand finish there by Bella Finnegan. That gives the Skippers some much needed insurance here for a 4-2 lead now in this one. Late stages of the third period now, Skippers working in the offensive end, and the power play comes to life once again. Lindsay Avar buries in front, and the Skippers end up winning this one by a final score of 5-2. The power play very strong for the Skippers, 3 for 6 in this one. Stillwater up next, Mounds View, Irondale.
We send you to southern Minnesota for Class A, hosting Class AA, Dodge County and the Shakopee Sabres. Final seconds of the opening period here, and Dodge County is going to bang this one home. Zoe Heimer with 1 second on the clock in the first period. Makes it 1-0 for the Wildcats. Heimer would double it up and make it 2. Look at this move here to the net as it's banged home. And now Dodge County leads by 2 in the second period. Then we'll get one off the face-off here as we keep going. And look at right through the middle. They send Molly Cook on the breakaway, splitting down the middle of the ice, and Cook hammers it home past the Shakopee goaltender, Brooke Fry, to make it 3-0. And then continuing here, this will be cleaned up by number 21, Zoe Heimer once again. 2 goals apiece for Molly Cook and Zoe Heimer. And how about Dodge County? There is some quality girls hockey being played in southern Minnesota this season. The Wildcats shut out the Sabres.
Bemidji and Brainerd Little Falls from the Essentia Health Sports Center in Brainerd. First period now with an opportunity for Brainerd Little Falls. Great sequence of saves here by the Bemidji goaltender, Peyton Weideman, who was terrific in this game, as were both goaltenders. Another opportunity here for Brainerd Little Falls, and they are not able to convert on that opportunity. Still in the first period now. We're still scoreless. The pass over in a beautiful one-time finish. Molly Polkamp gets the goal, and Brainerd Little Falls goes up in this one 1-0. Now the Lumberjacks of Bemidji trying to answer here, and it's a good save made. And another opportunity is going to come to the front. Erica Folden makes the glove save, and that would be it as Brainerd Little Falls wins this one 1-0. Great start to the season.
One new place, plus 2 of everything, plus 1 budget. Life math is complicated. Financial experts
Hi there.
make it easier. Affinity Plus. Getting a free streaming trial. Plus, forgetting to cancel it. Life math is complicated. Fewer overdraft fees make it easier. Learn more at affinityplus.org/betterthanfree.
And we get the highlights rolling. We start on our first hockey night in Minnesota. Hibbing Chisholm at Grand Rapids as the Thunderhawks open up the new Yanmar Arena, the renovated Yanmar Arena, and they will open up the scoring as well here with Bauer Murphy. The blue line special was a little bit of a theme on this night for Grand Rapids, and the senior defender Bauer Murphy got the scoring started. Then we have Nathan Garski, who tips that one on the shot for the point from William Shermoen to make it 2-0. Tough break here for Hibbing Chisholm. Look at this puck. It just flutters over the line as they attempted to clear it out with Christian Edmonds. But another goal from a blue liner. That was Dominic Broberg, who made it 3-0. Then early second period, this one finds its way through traffic as well. And now William Shermoen gets a goal of his own. 4-0 Rapids just over a period into this one. However, Hibbing Chisholm would fight back. Here is a nice finish on the breakaway by Tate Swanson, or on a 2-on-1 rather. And then going to the net here, finished off nicely by Nathan Garski, who had his second of the night for the Thunderhawks. They restore the 4-goal lead. Hibbing Chisholm, though, not going away. Mason McDonald tips this one on the way to the net on the bid from the point from Keelan Elsner to make it 5-2. But that would be the final score as the Thunderhawks in a renovated Yanmar Arena. Beautiful facility. We enjoyed our opening night up there pre-Thanksgiving, and it was a 5-2 win for the Thunderhawks.
We go now to Andover and Chanhassen. It is the Tonka Thanksgiving preview, the number 2 Storm, opening the season up without Tyler Smith, who is, of course, still playing on the football team at this point. And it's a rebound and a goal by Crosby Perry. How about that for a hockey name? Terrific finish on the rebound, and it's 1-0 in favor of Andover. Chanhassen, though, would respond about a minute and a half later. It's Chase Barine with the goal, a huge one to equalize it up at 1. Now, how about this? Andover thinks they've scored, and somehow this puck apparently stayed out, says the referee, as he is emphatic on the wash-off, as Pete Wagoner said on our broadcast. And Chanhassen would come the other way, nothing resulting on that play, though. The Storm, though, looking for more. It's a turnaround try that goes in. Caden Lee with the goal. Gavin Eulenkamp gets the assist, and the Storm take a 2-1 lead late in the second. Just a minute or so later, though, Andover would respond. It's bouncing all over the place, and then finally it's Casey Rogers who gets the goal, and it is tied at 2 late in period number 2. We go to the third period now. Early stages of the third. This puck's going to be picked up again by Casey Rogers, who's going to get there and then watch this finish. Just waits for it, and it sneaks through the goaltender Hendrickson. It's a big goal, and that is your game winner right there as the Andover Huskies pull off the upset. It's a 3-2 finish, and Andover gets a huge win. They move to 1-0 as the Chanhassen Storm fall to 0-1. They win despite being outshot 34-13.
Turkey Trot up at the Plymouth Ice Center. It's day 1, Maple Grove taking on Edina. We picked this one up about halfway through the first period as the Hornets will work the puck to the point, and the long shot from Robbie Hoke ends up beating the goaltender for Maple Grove. That is Zach Price. Puts the Hornets up 1-0. Early into the second period now, the Hornets get their transition game on as it's picked up here by Bobby Cowan, who takes it to the net. Power move by the University of St. Thomas commit to make it 2-0 Hornets. And then we take it into the third period here, and it's Mr. Hockey candidate Jackson Nevers getting his campaign started well. Look at this dipsy doodle move and finish over the glove. That is a power move by Nevers to make it 3-0 Hornets. Short-handed. How about Joe Bertram? His first career start is a 36-save shutout.
We go now to St. Thomas Academy and Rogers. Neutral site game here at the Bloomington Ice Garden. In the first period, it's going to be the Cadets who get it started. Jimmy Zavarall with a nice finish here for St. Thomas. They go up 1-0. Rogers, though, now in the second period. How about this wrist shot from Brandon Swanson? Gets the goal. It's 1-1. In the third period now, it is an opportunity and a goal for Mason Jensen, who gets it to a 2-1 game. In the third now, big juicy rebound is cleaned up in front from Jimmy Zavarall, who's got his second. Now Rogers in the third period. This is Cole Bumgardner. Water bottle popper, game winner. It's a 3-2 win for Rogers. They'd add an empty netter, or a 4-2 win rather. Big win, though, for the Royals.
We send it up to the Iron Range, the historic Hodgins Berardo Arena known as the Snake Pit, with Greenway hosting Waconia on Saturday. Actually, I think this game was on Friday, but Greenway gets the scoring started with Bryce Nielsen, and they make it 2-0 Thomas Vekic. Check the shots, 20-4, but Greenway doesn't care. They are up by 2 goals, and then they score a 5-on-3 power play goal with Vekic, and it is 3-0. Waconia, though, would fight back. Mitchell Nelson makes it 3-1. Wildcats trail by 2 on the road heading into the third, but they would have a road third period to remember. Actually, Aiden Siddons specifically a road third period to remember as he cuts the deficit to 3-2. Now it's Siddons, gets the great feed from his teammate Mitchell Nelson. Mitchell Nelson with 4 assists in this third period as there he is again, sets up his teammate Siddons for the natural hat trick, the power play goal, the game winner. And oh yeah, it wasn't done yet. Siddons, how about a 4-piece in the third period for Aiden Siddons, and Waconia storms back to get a memorable win on the road.
Well, if you're a fan of chaos, you'll like this next game between Maple Grove and Wayzata, a Kare 11 top 11 battle in the Wayzata Turkey Trot. First period, under 2 minutes in. Big rebound here, and it's Reese Wallen who gets the goal. Wayzata up 1-0 here on Maple Grove. A few minutes later now, Maple Grove coming the other way. Tic-tac-toe in the finish by the Crimson. They tie it up. This is Andrew Karkic on the goal. It's 1-1. Now, about a minute later, Wayzata responds as it's Jake Matson with the goal. The Trojans at this point go up 2-1. And then how about this? 20 seconds later, they're still announcing the goal from before, and it's another goal, this time from Luke Miller. Watch this. They find him at the back door, completely fools the goaltender, and it is a 3-1 lead for Wayzata, 12:02 to go in the first. Now the other way, 5:36, and this is Lucas Bush who gets in front in the goal, and a beautiful finish as the Crimson get their second goal on just 4 shots in that period. We're still in the first period, by the way, at this point, and Maple Grove's going to tie it up as Giuliani gets it to sneak through. That would end a chaotic period, 3-3 after the first between these two teams, as now we go into the second period. Early stages of it, it's a 2-on-1 the other way, and the one-time finish nicely done by Andrew Karkic, who gets his second goal of the game on the assist from Lucas Bush. That makes it 4-3, but the Trojans responding right away as Reese Wallen gets his second of the game with 4:18 in the period, that is. And then another goal from Reese Wallen as it's a hat trick for him. That would put the Trojans on top in this one, 5-4. And then how about this finish from Luke Miller? That gave the Trojans a 6-4 lead. They would not look back in this one for the final 7:25. They end up winning this one 6-4 as Reese Wallen gets the hat trick.
The defending champions opening it up in their Thanksgiving preview, I should say. Already 1-0 are the Skippers, and they are working here in the first period. And a fluttering puck finds the back of the net from Luke Gary off the feed from Alex Lunsky to make it 1-0 Skippers. It's now 3-0 into the second, and it's Lunsky's turn. He goes to the front of the net, and he gets the return feed. This time it's Lunsky from Luke Gary. And it is already 4-0 in the second period. Minnetonka all over and over in this one. We take it into the third now, 4-0, and the Skippers score here as they will make it 5-0. They were all over the Huskies in this one, and for the second straight day, they would make it a runner at the Pagel Activity Center. As Minnetonka, what an opening weekend for them. In the battle of the last 2 state champions at the AA level, Skippers all over and over in this one. And now another goal on the rush. How about Ashton Schultz? Many, many great players on this Minnetonka team, but Schultz, perhaps the flashiest of them all. 18 goals in 2 games for the Skippers. They win this 8-0. We'll be back with more in just a few moments.
One new place, plus 2 of everything, plus 1 budget. Life math is complicated. Financial experts
Hi there.
make it easier. Affinity Plus. Getting a free streaming trial. Plus, forgetting to cancel it. Life math is complicated. Fewer overdraft fees make it easier. Learn more at affinityplus.org/betterthanfree.
On this week's SCSU Player Spotlight, we get some boys featured on the program with Minnetonka Hagen Burrows, as we start with the senior forward, who will be a Mr. Hockey candidate this year and one of the top players on the state's reigning champions. Let's take a look.
Well, he's just an awesome kid. I'd be honored to be his dad. I treat him like my son. I've been with him 3 years. Get kind of emotional talking about kids like this that have been with you for a while, because you only have a finite amount of time with him, and then you get to see him kind of fly away and do his thing. So he's a spectacular person. He cares about his teammates and other people more than himself.
A huge thing for our group is we spend so much time together. Like, we're not just at the rink and go into our separate lives outside of the rink. We're together 24/7. We play roller hockey, we go on the lake, we play pickup basketball, we play video games together. We pretty much do everything together, and we're always together, and we're a very, very competitive group. And I think because of that, that brings us together, because we love competing against each other and making each other better. And because of that, we kind of come together and get better as a group. Honestly, where it originated was my parents at our old house put up a rink in the backyard every year, and they put me in hockey just to learn how to skate. Traditionally, my family's not a hockey family. I'm the first in the family. And then I fell in love with it when I started playing, so ever since then, it's been a huge part of my life. Yeah, I think what drew me the most was I was with a lot of my friends playing, and the other thing is just the competitiveness and kind of a more physical, like, competitive game than some other sports, so that kind of drew me to it more. Yeah, I think tennis I liked because it's kind of fast-paced. You're kind of moving around a lot, not much rest time, and I like that part. And soccer, also a lot of my friends are on the team, so that helped a lot, kind of playing with friends all the way through. And also I played an offensive position, so I like to score goals.
Well, I didn't know he was a great tennis player. It doesn't surprise me. He's got really good feet and really good hands. And again, his ability to concentrate and focus and stay on task is elite. I think that separates him. I think people forget that at this age, that sometimes that can be a separator. Soccer-wise, he's just so good in time and space. His spatial awareness is really good. He always shoulder checks. He knows where his line mates are. And he's really been working on not only where are my line mates, but where are the opponents. So he's really good in space. He's starting to understand there's not just 5 guys on the ice on his team, but there's 10 guys in total. And I think he's starting to understand kind of where the soft pockets are so he can create more offense.
So I really am into, like, finance and stuff like that, so microeconomics. I'm a big math guy, and all the way through my life I've kind of been into math and excelled in that area.
Yeah, well, the joke in the locker room is that he's the math tutor of the group. So, but that's just how his brain works. He's really analytical. He doesn't overanalyze things. He's very sequential, but he has a very good brain at operating with focus and details. There's very few things that he doesn't process real quickly, and you see it in his game. He has the ability to process from his head to his hands really quick. He doesn't hold the puck real long, but when he does, he's doing it with deception. But everything's got a purpose with his game. So his deception and his ability to process is probably one of his more hidden skills.
Going into games knowing that we're going to get everybody's best is something that helps us elevate as a team, and know we can't take any nights off, because anybody can get you at any time. There's a lot of skilled teams, and you can't overlook other teams. So we kind of just try and go into games knowing we have what it takes to win that game, but we're going to have to work for it, and we can't just roll over and let people beat us. Yeah, I mean, it's a cliche to say that it's one of a kind experience. Like, as a kid growing up in Minnesota, you dream of that, and you go every year and you're watching and you remember these players and these names from your childhood that you watched do it, and it feels really, really good, not only for myself to win it, but to know that I have this memory with the guys in that room for the rest of my life. Well, first and foremost, without my parents, like, none of this would have happened. They've given me so much time, money, effort to help me get to where I want to be and achieve my dreams and goals. But on top of that, Coach Goldsworthy has been such a key person in my hockey career, and me turning from a young freshman to old. I'm not an adult yet. I'm 18, but trying to turn into a man, and he is a huge influence over us as a group and kind of just showing us how to do it the right way. He doesn't care about wins, losses, all that. He wants us to grow as people, and I think that's something we all appreciate so much from him.
Well, I mean, I think our job is twofold here. You know, I think when you have success on the ice, people deflect it more to hockey. But when you've been doing it for, 28 years, as I have now, kind of made it a career choice of mine to be an educator first and a coach, you got to build trust. You got to build relationships first. And it does become special when you meet kids like this, because they become part of your life. They really do. And it's short term, it's finite, but the beauty of coaching, all the tough days of coaching, all the negative criticism, all the comments that are kind of there that aren't pleasant, they're rewarded later on when a kid like Hagen Burrows turns 35 and his children and his family, and he looks back at your time with him, that it was kind of a big piece of his growth. That's why we do it. I think every coach in the state would tell you that, and I think that's what motivates me to keep going, kids like Hagen.
We'll take a look now at our upcoming top 5 network games on the week. We're going to start on the girls' side. We've got a good one leading off for you on Tuesday night. It is the South St. Paul Packers traveling south to take on the Dodge County Wildcats. That's at 7 p.m. on Tuesday. And also on Tuesday, Minnetonka traveling to Maple Grove, an always pesky Crimson team. That's also at 7 p.m. Hill-Marie Edina shaping up to be a strong matchup. Upstart Eden Prairie Eagles against Holy Family. And then you've got the call, I believe, for Orono at Holy Angels, Brandon. Really good games this week.
It's a great week, and we had a few Holy Angels games we could have picked from. We went with that one against Orono, a 2-time section final rematch from the last couple of years. But then some big AA matchups. I believe Minnetonka, Maple Grove, Hill-Marie, and Edina are all undefeated at this point going into next week. So those should be a couple big matchups.
Looking forward to that, certainly. And now on to the boys' side. It is the second-ranked Chanhassen Storm who will be taking on the Shakopee Sabres on Tuesday night. That's a 7 p.m. start in Victoria. And then East Grand Forks making their way to the Twin Cities for the first time this season. They will visit the Mahtomedi Zephyrs on Friday. That's a 7 p.m. start. And then also Duluth East, NYZ, Hermantown, Hill-Marie. And then I like to call this the Pete Wagner special. Benilde St. Margaret's and Edina on Saturday. Always fun when those two meet.
Well, Matt, I'm glad you dropped that, because otherwise I would have had to. Yes, the Pete Wagner special, VSM Edina, with Pete on the call. But how about a couple teams descending from the Northland? Duluth East and Hermantown will be visiting the cities over the weekend. I know you have the call for the Duluth East Wayzata game. Excited for that. And then EGF and Warroad will also be in the cities next weekend. It's going to be a great weekend of hockey.
Looking forward to it indeed. Time now to take a look at our upcoming Hockey Night in Minnesota games of the week. Of course, these are free to view on the mnhockey.tv along with Kare 11 Plus and the Kare 11 mobile apps and the Kare 11 website as well. We'll start it out on Tuesday night, a good one in girls class AA. It is the Andover Huskies taking on the Holy Family Fire and Brandon. Andover, lots of really good talent in that junior class this season. And overall, this is shaping up to be another strong Huskies team.
It is, yeah. Both of these teams reloading a little bit after losing key contributors on the top line. Both of these teams have a loss already in this early season, so looking to find their legs as this year goes on. I think both of these strong contenders at the end of the year. This is a good barometer to see where they are early.
And now we'll go to the boys' game of the week, and boy, do we have a dandy in Class A. We're going to be heading out to the Morrison Ice Arena in Orono as the World Warriors come to town to take on the Orono Spartans. A couple of Class A juggernauts as well. Ward and Orono going to be right there, you would think, at the end potentially, and we get perhaps an early season state preview.
Yeah, Warroad descends upon the cities for a couple games next weekend. They'll go up to Mahtomedi, I believe, on Saturday. So a big weekend to see what this year's Warroad edition is going to look like without Mr. Hockey, Jason Shogabee.
Let's dig in now to the Kare 11 Top 11 as we will start things out with girls Class A. As the top two teams remain the same in this week's Kare 11 Top 11, Holy Angels number 1, Warroad number 2. Orono lost their opener but has won 5 straight. They move up to number 3, and Dodge County as well has been terrific to start the year 4-0. They are up to number 4. Duluth, Marshall, Simley, South St. Paul 5, 6, 7. Proctor Hermantown, they have a really tough schedule. Brandon, they fall to 10. But what stands out to you so far in this week's Kare 11 Top 11?
Yeah, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, but we already have a lot of clashes of teams in the top 11, and those will continue in the coming weeks here. I'm thinking specifically Dodge County will host South St. Paul this week. Holy Angels host Proctor Hermantown on Tuesday. Proctor Hermantown also plays Gentry Academy. So there are opportunities for the Mirage to climb back up and get toward the top 10 again, or top 5, I should say. But overall, I think that top 3 is starting to establish itself at least a little bit right now.
We'll move on to girls AA now in the Kare 11 Top 11. And the Minnetonka Skippers off to a 4-0 start. They stay at number 1 after their most recent win against Stillwater. Hill Murray at number 2, Edina number 3, and that is setting up an interesting matchup. Those two teams will play each other, Hill Murray and Edina, this week. And also Andover Holy Family is a matchup this week as well. 4 and 5, Champlain Park, Coon Rapids, Idle this week. They stay at 4-0. Maple Grove, Benilde St. Margaret's, and Lakeville North has not allowed a goal in 3 games this year. They're up to number 9. And we welcome Centennial Spring Lake Park and the Northfield Raiders, who are 5-0, Brandon.
Yeah, Northfield's getting into this top 11. They've had some decent wins so far, including Gentry on opening night. Also beating Rosemont, as well as state tournament team from a year ago. And then you mentioned those top 5 clashes coming up this week. The team to watch in the next 2 weeks is Hill Murray. We haven't learned a ton about them so far. They've played some good, but maybe not great teams. And they will have road trips to Edina this week and then to Minnetonka the following weekend. So keep an eye out for Hill Murray. They're the team to watch the next couple weeks.
Boys Class A now, Kare 11 Top 11. Hermantown has not played a game yet. They remain at number 1. But the East Grand Forks Green Wave get a big win over the Delano Tigers to move them to 2-0. And then St. Cloud Cathedral upends Warroad in overtime. As a result, they jump the Warriors at number 3. Warroad falls to 4. And then we welcome Northfield at 2-0. They go to number 6. And then also another newcomer this week is the Dodge County Wildcats.
Yeah, looking at the top of the rankings, this Class A rankings, much like the girls, are going to shuffle a little bit because we really don't know who the top teams are yet, but East Grand Forks certainly made a big case on opening weekend. And then St. Cloud Cathedral, they're up north on the border in Warroad, and they come away with a huge win. And then welcome Northfield. I was stumping for them on week 1, and they earned their way up to number 6 as they win in Tria a couple games this weekend.
Final boys Class AA, Kare 11 Top 11. Here it is. It is Minnetonka. No surprise, as they scored 18 goals in their first 2 games. And then the Wayzata Trojans move up to number 2. And the Edina Hornets as well looked all the part of a top 3 club, as their performance is certainly good enough to move them up to number 3. Rogers 2-0. They go to number 4. Hill Murray is idle. They haven't played yet at 5. Chanhassen, the question was how far were the Storm going to fall? They go to number 6. And then the rest of this is kind of, throw darts at a board and just see what you get. Brandon, you never know. It's been tough with some of these teams who haven't played yet. But Shakopee has been off to a 2-0 start. They earn that spot at number 11.
They definitely do. And Shakopee Chan now all of a sudden becomes even more interesting on Tuesday night. A lot of people thought coming into this year it could be a late conference year. And, well, week 2, we have 3 2-0 late conference squads, 1, 2, 3. I think it's going to be tough to knock off those teams, although Rogers put in a good shift this weekend in Bloomington to earn that number 4 spot at the moment. And then Chan, I think they will bounce back. Who knows when their heart and soul player Tyler Smith will be back in the lineup, but he just won a state football championship, so congrats to the Storm there. And Tyler Smith will look to return to the hockey club and see if they can't win 2 state titles in 1 year.
That was, I felt, the best JV team I saw in the state. So the question I had in my mind was, there were a lot of incumbents that those kids probably wouldn't have been able to take their spots. This now opens up some opportunities through your practices and your first week of tryouts. What have you seen from those kids that have stepped up from that tremendous JV team?
Well, it's let's say the Thanksgiving theme. Just a tremendous amount of gratitude on their part to be here. They're excited. They've paid their dues, and they are some of those kids have played 2 full years of junior varsity hockey, and they feel privileged and excited to be part of the program, and it's a little bit refreshing to walk in the locker room. You have a bunch of kids got a smile on their face who are just really excited to be a Red Knight.
And that was our very own Pete Wagner in a recent Overtime podcast interview with the BSM Red Knights head coach Ken Pauley.
We are uploading our podcast 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Great content and interviews like that and more on each episode. And you can get that on Spotify and other podcast platforms.
And speaking of getting our podcast, be sure to follow us on social media as well, on Instagram at MNHockeyTV, on Twitter and X at MNHockeyTV, and of course on Facebook, MNHockeyTV as well. Well, that's going to wrap up another episode of Inside the Bubble from the Yanmar Arena in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. For our entire crew, Pete Wagner, of course, our executive producer, and Brandon Spratt, I'm Matt Harrington, saying so long, everybody.